Welcome back to House TV Live. I'm Rick Spence, and with me today is Jessica Love with Urbane Design out of beautiful Austin, Texas, sharing her own home with us today. Really nice redesign. You've been on House for many, many years. So many people love your stuff, so it's such a pleasure to spend some time with you. So thanks for joining us, Jessica.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me about this beautiful home.
We are close to downtown Austin. The original home was built in 1954. There was an addition built on the home in the 80s. We just wanted something that was simple, four walls that I could come in and make it our own.
Have some fun with it. So when you go in the home, immediately you see sort of these wood slats and treatment you did, and you see a lot of this wood throughout the space. So tell me about some of your materials and what your goals and objectives were for the main living space.
Sure. So I would say one of the largest things that I am a believer in is sustainability in interior design. So a lot of the items that I built off of were materials that were already selected in the home. The wood floors in the home were actually really nice. They're white oak, can sometimes be a little bit cold. So I wanted to warm that up. In the entryway, it was quite boring. There's not really space to do a large entry table and mirror and things like that. So I really wanted to highlight that area and make it interesting. So when you walk through the front door, it just gives you a feeling of what you're about to enter.
I guess let's start in the sort of that first view, that dining area, and give me a feel for what happened here.
Sure. So what is now my dining room was actually the living room in the original floor plan. So my dining room has a lovely fireplace, and I wanted to center the table around the fireplace. I have an antique rug in there, which I have one in just about every single room, but that was my newest addition. So I'm really happy to show that off. I started my dining room with the 4 chairs. Those are antique chairs from Spain. I have a lot of antiques throughout my home. Basically, just started with 4 chairs and had to build around it. I decided to go with a black table to contrast with both my wood floors and the wood on the chairs. It's like a white oak almost with a stretched leather. And then I just added 2 captain's chairs, because I couldn't get 2 more of the antique ones, unfortunately.
That's smart. It's a beautiful looking set. Tell me a little bit more about above your fireplace and what those pieces are.
The fireplace is not centered on the wall that pops out. It's a little asymmetrical. So I decided to run with that asymmetry because I knew I wanted to add a lot of art. I wanted to keep it all black and white. I collect a lot of art, and I also work with a lot of local Austin artists. So a lot of the photography on that wall is by a local photographer.
Now, the paint color looks interesting from different angles depending on the way the light's hitting it. Tell me about that paint color.
It's Sherwin-Williams, either agreeable gray or a new gray. I have both of those colors throughout the home. I just wanted something that was really neutral. I didn't want something that was gray. I didn't want anything that was beige. So kind of right in between the 2 colors.
It is a very agreeable color. So let's go into the kitchen. You've warmed it up with materials, interesting bar stools, a lot of stuff going on here.
Sure. So going back to sustainability, the white oak wood floors were pre-existing and we wanted to keep that. The cabinet boxes were already in place, so I decided to keep those, but painted them black. And then the doors, we did a solid vertical grain walnut. The vertical grain actually goes from top to bottom, so you can see it continuing from the doors up to the drawers. That was definitely done intentionally. And then I popped the matte black hardware on against the walnut to tie it back into the black boxes.
Tell me about those upper cabinets and that really cool looking black mesh.
So the black mesh was actually designed to go on a car.
Oh.
And anyway, I really liked it. So I snagged it up and had it painted and cut to size and installed.
That's cool because it gives it a little openness, but you can't really see what's behind there. You get a hint of what's back there. So I know whether I'm looking for glass or a dish or whatever, but it doesn't necessarily have to be neat.
Exactly.
So that's your answer to this. Might be a new trend. Instead of the glass fronts, we might be seeing more of sort of this dark mesh. I like it.
Thank you.
So the countertop looks like a man-made of some sort. What's your countertop?
Yeah, so the countertop, again, it was in the kitchen when we purchased the home. So just going back to sustainability, it's in perfectly great condition. It's a countertop. We need one. And it works. It's just a quartz.
Tell me about your backsplash, the material and the pattern that you chose.
The backsplash is marble. I love all of the different colors of green and gray and cream and white. You could really see a little bit of everything in there. I didn't want the backsplash to stand out, so I just decided to stack it and lay it horizontally.
How about your bar stools? The bar stools on their side, they're well hidden. You don't see them. You went with something you could slide underneath versus a back. What's your thought on bar stools and backs versus not and that kind of thing?
I think of that bar area in our home as more of an area that you can just kind of hang out. You might snack on some cheese or grab a glass of wine. It's not meant to sit there and dine. So I wanted something that was comfortable enough that could be moved around, but doesn't make you think to stay there permanently.
Gotcha.
So trying to keep the flow of traffic when we're entertaining.
So when you're in the kitchen, another really cool detail is your trim around the doorway. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I am not in love with the idea of a traditional trimmed out doorway. And I also, with pets, don't love the idea of sheetrock entryways. So I decided to take solid walnut that you see in the entryway and also in the kitchen cabinets and frame out the doorways. And then I had my sheetrocker come in and he met up the sheetrock corners into the walnut. So it's a really, really subtle but super cool feature.
Really nice. That has a great feel to it. What a great space.
Thank you.
Let's step into the sunroom. So this is sort of like this is like the ultimate jump on the couch, put the TV on, pop open a can. I mean, this looks like a great space.
I think that a home should be lived in. And I think we can live in a home and still make it beautiful. I really think about that and all of the textiles that I bring into my home. You know, I don't want to be scared to walk around the house with a glass of wine. Since the home was built in the 50s, the rooms are really elongated and narrow. And so I tried a million different layouts in that room and nothing was working. So I just decided to go with a modular sofa that lined the walls and then filled in the area with the two oversized ottomans. That way it just accentuates that you can sit on the sofa, prop your feet up, and then it also fills the room.
Put those ottomans together. I think I could crash on those two ottomans put together.
Absolutely.
Those look really comfortable. I love the little artwork on the little wall. So tell me about that choice and what that is.
That is actually one of the first original pieces of art that I ever purchased. The artist said that it was something about caramel popcorn is what it's called. So the little girl had this green little monster that followed her. He copied everything that she did, from her haircut and hair color to the way that she dressed. And she was agreeable to let him do those things, but she would not let him have the caramel popcorn.
I love that. That's a fun piece. And tell me about your choice of placement.
I have an art closet in my house that is just filled with art, and I'm constantly rotating pieces. So I find myself often putting art in different places that they wouldn't necessarily go. And since our home is so open and there aren't a lot of walls, I have to be pretty creative in where I put all the art.
It just feels whimsical and fun. And I think you can make a whole cartoon series out of these two characters together.
I think so.
What is the rug in this space?
A handmade wool rug that I had also bound by hand. And again, just meant to be a very, very durable rug. You can spill anything on it, knock on wood, and it comes right up.
Do you generally see better durability out of natural fibers like wool?
I always say 100% wool is the way to go. It can be elegant or it can be casual. Antique and vintage rugs, they're always 100% wool. And if there's a rug that has withstood 100 years and no telling how many different homes, there is nothing that I can do to it that's going to destroy it.
Love that. That's good advice. You got your fur babies that you love, and you gave them a little design in the space too.
Yes. I think it's always important to account for every single family member in the home, whether that be a child or a pet. I have 2 rescue dogs, and it's just important for them to feel safe. And they love to hang out in that room, but aren't always comfortable when we have guests over. So it's a way for them to be a part of the space and the conversation without being directly in front of people.
Yeah, that's really nice. They like to be where people are. So do you have time to show us your bathroom?
Yes.
You brought in so much personality and interest. Let's start with the rug and the ceiling. It's just jumping out at me.
Great ones. I started with the ceiling. I initially wanted to do a wallpapered ceiling, but with it being right over the shower, I figured it wasn't that practical. So I decided, let's just hand paint it. I called one of my favorite local artists, and it took him about 2 weeks and a lot of neck massages. But he got it done. So that was all painted by hand. The tub was there, the floors were there, the wall surround was there, the cabinets were there. So again, they had good bones that I was able to work with, but I definitely needed to make it my own and pump up the style a little bit. Super fun. I have a really cool little flush mount chandelier above the tub. Also the mirror that goes from countertop to ceiling, and I integrated some sconces there. And then I also layered framed mirrors over the wall mirror just to add visual interest.
Yeah. Well, that's a great space. What a happy space. Tell me just real quickly about what you did on the outside. You have nice curb appeal here.
Yeah, so the front yard was actually the first thing that we did. Our neighbors across the street sit quite a bit above us. And since we're a 1-story home, I felt as if everyone was just looking down on our home there. So I created steel planters with a grand opening that gave us the feeling of privacy between our home and the street. And I brought that steel in onto the front of the home, which are the horizontal slats that you see. So I just wanted to do something that added some visual interest and texture without completely re-envisioning the front of the home.
That is really smart. And that's the Core 10 steel. It's sort of that rusted steel. Once it rusts, that's the way it stays.
Exactly.
Really cool. And the home in general just exudes your personality. I just sense the happiness and the love of life, and it seems like a really happy home. So congratulations on all of it.
Thank you. We're very happy here.
Well, thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate it, Jessica. This is a great tour, and I hope to come see you in person and do a feature on one of your clients' homes. I mean, you're doing so much amazing work, and here's to hopefully a much more normal 2021 eventually.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, take care.
You too.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.